Alright, welcome back guys. This is our continued look at the Elite Spectre. So I've gone ahead and taken all the screws out. And just to note, there's only three sizes. The really long ones, if I can pick one up, they go up in the priming handle. The next size down inhabit the majority of the blaster, and the tiny ones just go up in the front and the rail piece. But other than that, to get this apart, back cap comes off, priming bar opens up. Don't lose the pin. Said don't lose the pin. And back part of that, and then the blaster just fillets open. And there we go. Tilt it up for you guys a little bit. And if you haven't seen the inside of a regular Spectre, this is incredibly similar. And we've gone ahead and opened up a regular Spectre.
You can see that right here.
I'm actually going to take them side by side, and as you can see, they're basically identical except for some very minor changes.
Including the plunger tube, of course.
Yeah, of course, because the plunger tube on this actually is a direct plunger. They've gone and they've modified the catch just a little bit. The catch point's higher, and they took off that top loop where the old catch point was on the old one. That's pretty much it for what they've done there. As far as the shell goes, they've pretty much gutted out the shell and they've replaced it with this, this white plastic housing that they've been using in pretty much everything lately. But the turret pops out real easy. Just gonna press the release in for it. The turrets are damn near identical, except for the fact that this one just has regular posts in it, whereas this turret actually has the air restrictors. This one's also actually a little smaller. I didn't realize that before. The front end on this blaster is a little shorter. Is it actually because the blaster's shorter? No, they look the same length. They've just continued the front part up. I guess that's to make room for this this direct plunger system.
Yeah.
But they had to do what they had to do to make this direct plunger, and I'm glad they made a direct plunger. But again, oops, there's one screw I missed. The trigger is held in. There we go. This part here, along with this little pin thing, this just holds the turret snapped in, or helps hold the turret snapped in. And when it's back, it pushes this little lock piece up, and that lets you pull the trigger. So this whole mech is a trigger lock there. You catch, and this whole thing should just fall out like that. We've got this white bar under here, which is what moves the rotation. It actually, I'll pull the plunger out, but there is a notch on the underside of the plunger. Hopefully that picks up. That pushes that white bar. The plunger head is pretty standard for most of them. The seal on this, and I lost a spring, but the seal on this actually isn't that great. And unlike some of these other cages, the plunger tube actually just pops right out on this. And as you can see, the plunger rod just slides up and down in there. The seal's pretty bad. Even if you plug the air restrictor up, you can still hear it hissing rather easily without a lot of force. So you might want to tighten the O-ring up on this somehow and not put my arm down on screws. That hurts.
Nobody worry. I found the spring.
Yay. Air restrictor, pretty much the same one that we've been seeing a lot lately on the Strong Arm has the same one. The Sledge Fire had a set of 3 of these. It's not too much going on in there. There's down the plunger tube if the lighting is correct and the autofocus works. Come on, autofocus. You can see down in there the back air restrictor plate. Should be fairly easy to pop that out. The one thing that I would like to note, and hopefully the camera picks this up as to where the plunger rod is sitting, there's actually a lot of dead space in this.
If you can't see it, why don't we just go ahead and point out where the plunger head stops right there.
Yeah, so there's a good 3/4 of an inch of dead space in this, which is unfortunate. And the little spring sitting under there is just because, like all these Elite blasters, the plunger tube kind of floats in there, and when it's under pressure, it kind of pushes forward a little bit and makes better seal. and you know, the craft foam on the front. But otherwise, near identical to the original Spectre. Some nice little improvements that I'm glad they did. I wish the seal was a little better on this, and I wish there wasn't so much dead space. They really probably could have gone with the longer turret on this and kept this pretty much the same. But
Yeah.
there you go. Not really too much going on in there. If you've seen a regular Spectre, you should be fairly familiar with the Elite one just by looking at it. But hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm just going to do a little segment where I throw this back together real quick because people seem to like it going back together. So the plunger tube just snaps back in place, just like that. Drop this whole thing right back to where it goes. Alright, what else went in here?
That spring.
Where'd you put it?
I did it to you.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
No.
I've lost the spring.
He lost the spring. Anyway, the spring that popped out was on this little bar here. And our trigger just goes right back into place. Slip it through the catch. And there. If we have the spring, that would be how it goes back together. The one thing to note when you're putting the slide back on, the priming slide, where is the other piece? There it is.
Found the spring again.
Oh, we found the spring. That thing's going to be annoying to get in. Or, good enough.
You forget I'm a beast.
When you put the slide back on, there is this little return spring on the top. Just make sure when you're putting it through that the rod actually catches on that. So hopefully, if we turn this right, we'll be able to see it. But there we go. That's how the Spectre goes back together. Oh, and of course the one little screw that's on the that holds the trigger in place. Alright, there you guys go. Elite Spectre, everyone. Almost
Thanks.
the same as the original.
Thanks for watching.